Hey everybody, hope everybody is doing good and welcome to the Embroidery Happy Hour this Friday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Hope everybody had a great week. And today, what are we going to be talking about? Well, I thought because the holiday season, I can't believe it, is like almost right around the corner, okay? Because this month is Halloween. Before you know it, we got Thanksgiving, and then we end up having Christmas, right? So one of the things that we're going to be doing is we're going to be pumping out those gifts. And if you guys are running a small embroidery business, then most likely you guys are going to have to start thinking about how you're going to deal with your orders and how you're going to be dealing with your customers. So I thought this would be an excellent topic, especially right before the holiday rush, and that way we can all start thinking about situations that can occur and how we're going to handle that. Okay. So I thought about 10 different things that I know from my experience of running an embroidery business and even making gifts for friends and family and stuff, things that I have come up with. And I wanted to share with you guys not only things we have to that can come up, things that you need to consider, but also give you guys an example of how I've also handled those situations myself in the past, how I was able to resolve them, and hopefully this can help you. Okay. So, as you guys know, for those of you guys that are new, you guys know that the first hour, okay, because I can be a talker, all right. The first hour, one of the things that I like to do is I like to give you the topic up front, share that with you guys and stuff. After 1 hour, I am done with the topic, and then I like to chit chat with you guys in the chat room. Okay. But before we get into the topic of tonight, which is customer service challenges. Okay. One of the things that I want to announce is that I have started the registration. I've already opened it up for the 2024 holiday gift exchange. Okay. For Embroidery Happy Hour for our group. Okay. So the link is posted on our Facebook group. You have to make sure that you register. Okay. Registration is going to be open until October 30th. After October 30th, on October 31st, the names are going to be drawn. Okay. After the names are drawn, everybody will be assigned a person to give a gift. And all of the gifts need to be mailed out by December 6th. And then on December 20th, on our Embroidery Happy Hour, that's where we're going to do our little show and tell, where we can all open up the gifts and we can all share what everybody got. So for those of you guys that are new and don't know what this is about, that I'm talking about right now, is every year what I like to do is I like to do a gift exchange. And one of the things that's great about this gift exchange is that it's us. We're all participating if you want to. And what you're doing is you're creating a gift for another crafter. The reason why I like doing this is because usually when you are a crafter, sometimes among your friends, other friends, they're not crafty like you, right? So even though you can go ahead and you can create something really cute like a bag or a wallet or a jacket or embroidery, sublimation, whatever your gift of craft is, you always give someone something that you've made. A lot of times when you have other friends that really aren't into the same type of craft or hobby that you're in, usually what you end up getting is a gift card, right? So the thing is, it's really is a special feeling when you receive a gift that someone has actually taken the time to make that for you. So that's one of the reasons why I like doing this every year. It's usually a really great big hit. A lot of people have done some wonderful, wonderful gifts and given it to other crafters. I think it is a really great way for us to uplift each other. So that's something that I do every year. So far, when I checked online, I saw that I think we have 19 participants so far. That we have, this has really grown in the past couple of years. I think at one time we had, if I remember correctly, I think we had close to, I think, 30 or 40 people. I have to look back on my notes. But the group has really grown and stuff like that, and people really do enjoy participating in that. So if that's something that you're thinking about doing, make sure that you check it out at the Facebook group and make sure that you register in time. As always, the only thing I truly ask is please only register if you are serious about participating. The last thing I want is for someone to create, to participate, create a gift for someone and then doesn't get a gift back in return. It is the holiday, and it's really important to me that everyone gets that great feeling of opening up something special. So, just wanted to make sure that I share that with everybody. Okay. All right. So let's talk about this. All right. Let's talk about customer service challenges. Okay. I'm going to share with you guys some of the things I've experienced while I have opened up my business. For those of you guys that have been following me for a while, you guys know I've been running an embroidery business for about 4 years now. I love it. It is very, very profitable. It's something that I truly enjoy doing. I am still working full time, but this is something that I will become my second career in life. I do plan on retiring in less than 2 years. So, in less than 2 years, I will be taking this to a whole other level. But as I have been working on this business right now, I have experienced a whole bunch of stuff. I've made, gotten a lot of successes, gotten a lot of failures, and of course, I always like to share that with all this stuff with you guys because you never know who's going to help, right? All right, so let's start getting down to it. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you guys about 10 customer challenges that I have had. So I see that everyone in the chat has been saying hi. I've been babbling all this time. No one has said anything about I can't see you, I can't hear you. So I'm assuming that we are good to go. So I'm just going to go ahead with number 1. Okay. All right. Serving multiple customers at one time. You guys know the holidays are coming. All right. And everyone is, as always, every year, okay, without any type of doesn't skip a beat. You will always have customers coming to you last minute for things to get embroidered, things to be made, and it can really cause a lot of stress. Okay. It's the holiday. And if you only doing this part time, like I do, then what ends up happening is the work can really, 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 really pile up. Okay. The bottom line is this: you know what you can handle and you know what you can't. Okay. So you got to make sure that you pace yourself and you pace yourself wisely. You can get exhausted. Okay. When I first started doing this, I remember the first year I got bombarded and it wasn't healthy. It really wasn't, because what ended up happening was I became extremely exhausted. I would have to work all night and then still get dressed and then go to work in the morning. Okay. So it was like absolutely no downtime. I was going, 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 going. And it's not good for you mentally and it's not good for you physically. Okay. So the thing is, there's a big downside to this as well. Okay. Sometimes what happens is when you are serving multiple customers at the same time, you kind of suffer a little bit and your customer suffers as well. What I am trying to say is that embroidery is very detailed work, okay? And a lot of this embroidery, especially the type that I do, is very customized. So you have to be able to sit back, breathe, and take in the order and really pay attention to those details, okay? If you don't do that, mistakes are going to happen and you're going to be rushing the orders. And then what's going to happen is you're not going to be happy with how you're not going to be happy with yourself because you're exhausted, you're tired. And then at the same time, your customer's not going to be happy because they're not going to get the great work that you can be producing. All right. So what did I do? Well, the first year I was a mess, okay, because I was taking the orders like crazy, running them, getting very little sleep. Even though I did okay with the quality of the work, it wasn't good for me. So one of the things that I did was I broke down and I said, "Whoop, I'm buying one of these." What is this? This is an actual appointment book, okay? Now, remember, or I don't know if you remember, they still do it today. What happens when you want to get your hair cut, okay? You go to a salon and what they do, they say, "Oh, let me schedule your appointment." When they go and they open up the book, they schedule the appointment and they schedule you, and that's the time that they have to dedicate to you. You can do the exact same thing with this business, okay? I have an appointment book. I schedule when I'm going to meet with customers. I don't have customers coming 3, 4 at a time. They were before when I first started. they were showing up unannounced. I don't do that anymore. You have to have an appointment. You have to call me, okay? I have to set up a time. That is a really good time for you not only to organize your time, but also be able to really have that one-to-one customer experience with the customer. Always make sure you have the appointment scheduled. Like tomorrow I have a customer that's coming. She has a jean jacket that she needs to get embroidered. She needs to have it done on the same day. I already know that I'm going to be spending about a good 3 hours with her because I'm going to be helping her with the design and all that good stuff. So I have that all blocked on Saturday for her. Okay. And she's a good friend of mine, so I don't mind spending the 3 hours. It probably would be shorter, but of course, I want to hang out with her too. So the thing is, make sure you have an appointment book. Make sure that as orders are coming in, you are scheduling them, so that way you don't feel like, oh my God, I got to get all this stuff done now, and I feel rushed, pressured. You get stressed. You don't want to deal with that. Okay, so I am telling you, just take your time. Take your time. And there's going to be moments when you're going to get an order in, you might have to say no. Be okay with that. Be okay with saying no, okay? Because you need to put yourself first. Remember, if you don't take care of you, ain't nothing happening. Okay? Cuz you're it. This is your stuff. Okay? So if you're not in a good mental state and you're not taking care of you, nothing's going to happen in your business, okay? All right. So that was number one. The other one, number two, not knowing the answer to a question. Okay. That can be a customer challenge. Now, what I am trying to say in this one is what I'm saying is customers are going to go to you because, first of all, they need some embroidery done and they're looking at you as the expert. You may end up having some customers come visit you with the most craziest, wildest requests, and you are going to have to make sure you have your knowledge intact. You need to know what your skill set is. Are you going to embroider on silk? Are you going to embroider on satin? When you look at that shirt, if that shirt is too thin and that design they want is very dense, you know what you need to do. Okay. Customers are going to ask you questions. Okay. And you need to be really honest with them. That is not the time to be making up stuff. And if you don't know the answer, tell them, I don't know the answer right now. I have to find out. Nothing wrong with that. I see a lot of mistakes where people come out and they will promise the world and then not be able to deliver crap. And then next thing you know, their business is downhill because that customer is going to remember that. Okay. Remember, you are the expert. And I'm going to tell you something. This is going to really piss off some of you guys out there that's watching you. Okay. I may end up having to lose some of these visitors. I know some of you guys may even turn me off, but I'm going to say it anyway because somebody's got to be honest. Okay. If you don't know how to embroider professionally, okay, and I'm not talking about just putting a name and all that kind of stuff. If you honestly are not sure about embroidery, you're just starting to learn, you don't know about stabilizers, you don't know about the needles of sizes, you don't know about the different weight threads and what to use, you don't know how to look at a project and start planning on how you are going to be able to embroider that type of fabric and how it should be, you really should not be starting a business right now. You're not ready. You are not ready. Okay. I see this all the time. Now I already see my numbers going down because I know I pissed somebody off. That's okay. I got to be honest. Okay. Because the thing is, just because you know how to turn on a machine, and just because you went and you embroidered the letter A doesn't mean you became a professional embroiderer, okay? As time goes on, your skill set is going to get better, okay? You have to keep practicing. I know a lot of you guys don't want to hear it. I know a lot of people just think that I got the machine, I got the thread. All I have to do is just turn the machine on, press the button, and I'm good. If you think that, then that's fine. That's fine. Do you? But I know me. I like to make sure that everything that comes out of this shop has got to be solid, okay? It has to be solid. I am very, very tough on myself. If I know for a fact that the design is not solid, my embroidery is not solid, it's not walking out this door. Okay. So you have to know how to answer questions. Okay. You have to be confident in what you are doing. Customers will detect that as they have conversations with you and as they start asking you questions about color threads, different types of material, and stuff like that. If you start to stutter and you really don't know what you're doing, they will sense it. They will say, oh, she's not too confident and stuff like that. And let me tell you, customers feed off of that, right? So, got to make sure when you know for sure what you are doing and your confidence level is fine, you can do it. Now, Jeanette, are you saying I have to be the most super perfect person in the world? No, I am not saying that. But what I am saying is you have to make sure that you have practiced it and that your embroidery, the quality of your embroidery, can stand up against others. Okay. If you don't know, look around. Okay. Go to the store, look at clothes that have embroidery on there. Look at how it is. Look inside. Turn those shirts inside out. You're going to see the type of stabilizers that they use and all that kind of stuff and everything. Do your homework. You have to spend time on that, okay? Remember, when people are coming to you to place an order, they're doing it because you have a certain level of expertise and you know how to do this job. They are relying on that, okay? They're going to be asking you questions. They're even going to be asking you advice, all right? Make sure that you know how to answer it. There is a video that I have out there where I had a customer that came to me with a vest and they had a logo that had very, very small fonts. I told that customer that is not going to work. The customer was adamant. Nope, nope, nope. That's how I want it and stuff like that. I explained why it wasn't going to work. I said, look at the material, look at the thread, look at the colors. They're going to blend. It's not going to look good. But you know what I did? Even though the customer was adamant, they said, don't worry, Jeanette. I know what you're telling me. And if it doesn't look good, I know it's my fault. I said, that's fine. But what I did was I went ahead and not only did I embroider it the way the customer wanted me to embroider it, I went and I embroidered patches to put over that embroidery because I knew the patch was the solution. They didn't want to do the patches. So I did it their way and I did the patches anyway. And when I was able to show them and say, this is how you wanted it, look what it looks like. Now I want you to see this patch. Look at how the patch looks. And then I said, I could take this patch and sew it right over that embroidery and it would look beautiful. Right there, what happened? The customer said, you're right. I need the patch. Okay. So, but the thing is that what happens is that customer right there knew, they were like, oh, she knows what she's talking about. So in the future, and I'm gonna tell you, this is a repeat customer, okay, that I have. When they come to me and they come up with something, and I'm like, okay, I don't think so. Let's, I understand what you want. I understand what your vision is. Let me see if we can get your vision to become a reality in another alternative way. Okay, let's try the patches. Let me try to do this instead of using that type of shirt. Look at this shirt. Very similar, different type of fabric, different type of material. It's going to work great. There are ways that you can do that. Okay. Sometimes you do have to tell a customer to no. Okay. You're going to have to say no. And the thing is, my customers know I am very, very particular about my work. My work represents me. They know how I feel about that. Okay. I make it very known. And if I tell them if it can't be quality work, I won't do it. I will not put my name on it. Okay. So just something that, make sure that you have that understanding. You got to make sure that you're confident and you're knowledgeable enough so that when you have customers that come to you and ask you all these questions, you're on it. You're on it. Okay. Now, do you have to know all the answers all the time? No. But you can always get back to them and you can always Google. And not only that, if you're in this business where you are talking to other embroiderers and stuff, pick up the phone, text each other. I reach out to other embroiderers all the time and say, hey, I need some advice on something. I have this order. how are you, do you think I can hoop this correctly or whatever, right? You would be amazed how many people are willing to help other people. Okay. So I'm just saying, make sure you know your stuff. Don't just go in there and think, if you want to start a business and stuff, make sure that you have that knowledge. Okay. Make sure you have that knowledge and make sure that you're confident in what you're doing. All right. Okay. Number 3, facing frustrating customers. Okay. I'm going to tell you right now, if you're in the area of customer service and you're working for another customer, you ain't got no choice. All right. You got to deal with the attitude. All right. But when it's your business, why? My question to you is why? Why are you going there? There's no reason to. This is how I look at it. Oh, you got a problem? Okay. That's your problem, not mine. Okay. Then you need to go work with someone else. I'm not going to deal with that. Okay. I actually enjoy what I do. I'm a happy person. I like to stay happy. Okay. And that's how I like to deal with people. If I see that someone, you can kind of tell right off the bat, right from the beginning, okay, by someone's demeanor, their approach, their body language, that's when you can kind of tell. Then you have to ask yourself, is this someone that I want to deal with? Okay. Personally, me, nope. I don't like it. I just don't. I don't have time for it. I don't want to deal with it. I really don't. Okay. This is not, this isn't how I like to will and deal. Okay. So, it really depends on how you want to handle it. Okay. Me personally, I really don't. I don't like to handle it. All right. Sometimes when people come with a chip over their shoulder, a lot of times what happens is they're mad at the world and they're going to want to take it out on you. Okay. I don't allow that. To me, it's like, no, I'm here to provide a service and do your thing. But the thing is, if I see that you're going to be a very difficult customer, chances are, no matter what I do, you're not going to be a happy person. So I kind of like always try to steer away from those. You don't have to take every order that goes your way. You honestly don't. Okay. And the way I see it is just how I do it. I actually enjoy what I do and I want to continue enjoying it. And I don't allow anybody to bring this unhappiness attitude into this room. It's just not going to happen. Okay. All right. Not number 4, not meeting customer expectations. Got a whole list here. Okay. This is something that you really have to work on. And this is one of the reasons why number 1 is so important about scheduling your time with your customer. Okay. I do custom embroidery. All right. Because remember, I know a couple of embroidery, happy hours ago, I talked a little bit about the different types of embroidery businesses, right? Some people have an embroidery business where they just go ahead and they sell products and they just personalize it and stuff like that, and they're good to go, and that's how they do it. I do that, but I also do custom embroidery as well. Custom embroidery is much more difficult, much more time consuming because not every order that's going to go through your door is going to be the exact same. Now, knowing this, that means that you're going to have to really have the time to sit down and talk to that customer and see how is it, what is their expectation, what product, what is it that they need, right? You're not going to have people coming in with the same logo. You're not going to have someone coming in desiring the same type of colors, same type of shirts, same type of hats, bags, tote bags, book bags, whatever. Okay. All the orders are custom. So you have to make sure that you have the time available so you can sit down with that customer and really have that conversation. Custom embroidery is, to me, the most difficult part of running an embroidery business. But it can not only just be the most difficult part, it can also be the most rewarding because I have had some projects come to me that have been so challenging, and you guys saw the one that I did with the dog. But I loved it. I'm gonna be honest. I had my moments where I was like cursing up a storm, And I was like, am I going to give up? Okay. If it wasn't for me meeting the right digitizer, I would not have been able to succeed in meeting that challenge. But the thing is, it's the most rewarding because every project, everything that you get is unique. It's a different order, okay? Different design and everything like that. So, because everything is different, that time is so important that I mentioned in number 1. I have to have that appointment with that customer. It has to be a one-on-one. I can't talk with customer A and be servicing customer B at the same time, because what's going to happen is I'm not going to be able to meet their expectations. I have to make sure that when I meet with customer A, I am writing down all the requirements and I have a full understanding of what their expectations are. Okay. Not everyone's expectations are going to be the same, and not all of their requirements are going to be the same. So the thing is, you have to make sure that you meet their expectations. If you don't meet their expectations, then what happens is you're going to have a really bad experience. Okay. Because you thought one way and then the customer thought another. And when they came to pick up their product, it's not aligned. There are several things that you can do to make sure that you manage the order correctly so that when you are getting that information from the customer, you don't screw up. And I'm going to tell you one of the things that I do. Something that a lot of people don't like doing, because a lot of times people say, well, Jeanette, that takes time. Well, I'll tell you what, okay? It may take time the way that I do it, but I get it right every time. All right. Do a sample stitch. Okay. Sample stitch is so important. And I'm going to tell you why. Because sometimes what happens is a customer will come to you with a logo or a design. When they come to you with that, they come to you with it in print art, right? It's usually in Word or whatever software, right? But it's not in embroidery. It's print, right? Sometimes they don't understand that a stitch is not the same thing as taking a pen and drawing it. All right? Stitches look different. So what ends up happening is when people give you this artwork, they think it's going to look sometimes exactly the same. Now, yes, in embroidery, we do try to make it look as the same as possible, but you have to have a realization in here. I'm not working with ink. I'm working with thread and needles. So they need to see exactly how that logo is going to look with thread. So I usually always have a test stitch done. Okay. Now, when I have the test stitch, I send it to the customer and I ask the customer, hey, do you like it, or do you need to make a modification or something like that? It's very similar like when I was working on that dog logo and stuff. You want to make sure that you have their customer's approval before you go ahead and start processing the rest of the order. Because sometimes what will happen is the customer may not like it or need to make some type of modification. Maybe the color red wasn't what they wanted. Maybe they want to change red to blue or white or green, whatever, right? But the thing is, that's an opportunity for you to make any type of corrections necessary so that you can make sure that the expectation of that customer is met exactly. Okay. Does it take time? Yeah. But you know what? It's a business. Okay. And I'm going to tell you something else. When you do something similar to this, what ends up happening is you're sending a message to your customer. Okay. Because the customer knows that you are paying attention to detail. The customer knows that you are listening to them and you are understanding what their needs and their wants are. Chances are, when you're done with that order, you best believe most likely they're going to turn into a repeat customer. I have lots of them. I have lots of repeat customers. And I have customers that have even told me that they are not even willing to go to another embroiderer because of the experience that they've had with me. They know the prices are fair, and they also know that I am very detailed oriented, and I'm going to make sure that what they get is exactly what they expected. Okay. So I make sure I work with them. running a business is not easy. Okay. It's going to take time, and you have to build those business relationships with your customers. If you're not willing to do that, you're not going to succeed very well. There are two ways to sell. Okay. You can do the online, and usually online sales are they can be custom, but sometimes it's not the same as you when I meet with customers local. A lot of times what happens when you're doing online sales, you just have your product out there online and they just click on the listing and you mail it out. And there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. It depends on how you want to run your business and stuff. I just happen to do it both ways, and it seems to work for me. I do enjoy a lot the custom embroidery because I like the challenge, and I kind of like working on different projects, because for me it benefits me because I get to also learn with every new different custom embroidery sale. I actually learn about different textures of fabrics and stuff like that. So I don't let fear stand in my way. There is nothing wrong with taking on challenges and learning. That is how you get better in time. So, just something to put out there. So that's number 4. Okay, so number 5, not being able to resolve issues quickly. You're going to make mistakes. We all make them. I don't care how long you've been doing embroidery. You could tell me that you've been doing it for 200 years, and I'm going to tell you, yeah, and there have been times that you have made a mistake. That's just life. In everything we do, we all make errors. We all do it. If anybody out there tells you that they did never make a mistake, they're full of it. They're lying. They are just whatever. How dishonest can you be? Okay. If you think I haven't made a mistake, how wrong you are. And I've made costly mistakes. I even have a video out there where I $2,000 in backpacks. Yes, expensive backpacks. And I made a boo-boo, okay? I had to turn that negative into a positive experience, okay? You got to learn how to not only embroider correctly, but how to handle issues when you make a mistake and a boo-boo, okay? Peggy Stitch Eraser is my best friend. That Steam Ripper is your best friend. Sometimes you just gotta suck it up, and you made a mistake, undo those stitches and keep going. Make sure that you have a way to resolve issues when they come. Talk to your customers about that, okay? Let them know, all right? And let them know. I tell people all the time, I'm a human being. A mistake is going to happen. This blank that you're giving me, okay, I'll replace it if I mess it up, but I need to know where you purchased it. And I also want to know, what is your expectation if something goes wrong? Have that conversation with that person, okay? Don't go off and say, okay, I'm going to take the blank, okay. And then next thing you know, you never bothered to have that conversation with the customer. The customer went out the door, and now you got the embroidery thing all hooped up in your hand, and you're shaking like heck, and you have the embroidery machine running at maybe like 10 stitches a minute because you're afraid of making an error, okay? No, come on. You're a human being. Stuff is going to happen. Just know how you're going to handle mistakes, okay? It happens. I make mistakes, okay? I made a mistake. I lost $100 in an order of dinner napkins. It wasn't the customer's fault. It was not the customer's fault. And you know what was so funny? The customer did not even want the refund. But I was like, nope, I'm giving it to you. I'm giving you the refund. And the reason why I did that is because that experience, honestly, to her, she's probably thinking, oh my God, I feel bad because I got these dinner napkins and she's not charging me for them. But I explained it to her. What you did was you gave me more than money, honey. You gave me a learning lesson. Okay. And let me tell you what happened with those dinner napkins. When she came to me for the order, she specifically stated, I need the emblem to be 3 inches. You know what happened? I had it in brilliance. I shrunk down the thing, but when I saved it, I thought it saved at 3x3. It actually saved at three. I think it was 3.5 by 3.5. It didn't shrink anymore, but I could have swore that I read at the bottom 3x3. When I reopened that file, I didn't pay attention. I wasn't paying attention. Like a dummy. I didn't pay attention. Okay. It freaking said it on the screen. 3.5. But I saved it. And what did I do? 12 dinner napkins at 3.5. So when she got them, she told me, she said, Jeanette, it's beautiful, but I couldn't use them. And I'm like, why? And she goes, they're not 3 inches. I said, yeah, they are. And then I said, take a picture. She took a picture. She put that ruler right in front of it. And yep, 3.5. So I was like, I can't believe it. I made that error. So what did I do? I looked on there and I said, don't worry about it. Refund. You taught me a lesson. I need to be more careful. And I need to learn how to really read the measurements on this software. Okay. And she was like, oh, no. And I'm like, no, it's good. Trust me. It's okay. Because to me, lessons are worth $1 million. Okay. Because that's what's going to make me better. That's what's going to take me to that next level. Okay. Not the $100, the lesson. And that's the other thing too. Your mistakes is what's really going to help you become better and better and better. Okay. That is what's going to help you get to that next level. Not doing great all the time. Everybody likes to do great. I mean, I love to do great. Who the hell doesn't? But when that mistake happens, it can be a frustrating moment, but it's something that's going to help you build. Now, the thing is, you got to make sure, though, that you understand how you're going to resolve these issues when they do arrive. And you got to have these conversations with your customers, too. Okay? Make sure that they understand, because that's what's really going to help you. Okay? And here he comes. Hey, Mello, how you doing? You were hanging out with Daddy? I know. Oh, my goodness. All right. So he's got to make his cameo. I know. Okay. And he's got his Halloween collar going on. Yes, I know. All right. So not being able to resolve things quickly. What time is it? All right. I'm doing good. I'm at 8:30. Okay. We're at 8:30. Yes. Okay. He was hanging out with Dad. All right. So also, let's talk about number 6, because here we go. Not having the right tools. Let me tell you, when it comes to embroidery and sewing, we end up having we got a lot of stuff. We really do. Different types of hoops. We have magnetic hoops, we have regular hoops, we got hat hoops, we got scissors, embroidery scissors, fabric scissors. I mean, notions galore. Okay. We also have different types of machines. So the thing is, you got to make sure that for what it is that you want to do and for what you want to offer folks, you got to make sure you have the right tools at hand. Okay. The other thing is, I had not only the right tools, but what happens if you have too many tools? To me, there is such a thing as that. But the thing is, that's not something that I consider a bad thing. I kind of consider it's something that just really just happens, because as you start to do more embroidery and as you start doing more sewing and all that kind of stuff, you have to look at different types of notions that are out there, different types of scissors, different types. I mean, how else are you going to find out what's actually going to work for you? There's different types of hoops out there and all that kind of stuff. So you're going to have to do some little bit of exploring. But while you do the exploring, you are going to end up, creating, more, gathering more items. So you just have to come out and find out what's going to work for you. Okay. The other thing too, though, is, to me, when we're talking about having the right tools and having too many tools, I also want to throw in there that it really depends on how you organize yourself. The holidays are coming. You're going to be having those orders coming through that door. Last thing you want to do is looking for scissors, looking for your seam ripper, looking for the right hoop and all that kind of stuff. This is the time that you're going to need to go out there and really look at your space and start organizing it so that when the orders start flowing in, you can work effectively. Okay. You can go and take an order and get it done, package it up, go to the next order, and so on. Okay. You need to be able to have your process down. And sometimes you're going to, I look around and sometimes I go, you know what? I got this. I don't even use it. Take it out of the room, put it in another section. Okay. Focus on the items that you do use, the tools that you use all the time. Make them accessible within reach so that when you need them, they're there. Okay. All right. Let me see. Number 8. This is something that a lot of people really don't think about. Managing service outages. A lot of times when people talk service outages, if you're in the IT world, okay, in the IT world, they think of it as, a server's down or stuff like that, right? Well, we're embroiderers. So what would a server outage be for us? You know what it would be? A machine went down. That would suck, especially if you got a lot of orders coming in and one of your machines went down. Let's say that you only have one machine and that machine went down. Hold on 1 minute. Hey, Fred? Okay, sorry. He had his radio playing and stuff like that. I think he didn't realize how loud it was because I could hear it. Anyway, if you have like a bunch of machines and one machine goes down, a little upsetting, can hold you back a little bit. Got it. But if you only got one machine and that machine went belly up, ooh, that's not good. That means you're not doing nothing. Okay. And if you're not doing nothing, you better have a plan. So if you are planning on doing an embroidery business and you're depending on one machine, you better make sure that you know where you can get those machines serviced fast. Make sure that you have at least 1 or 2 technicians in your rotary dial or on your phone that you can pick up and call. Make sure that you are servicing these machines before these holidays hit, which reminds me, that's what I got to do. Okay. I'm going to have to call Justin to make a house call. So make sure that, make sure that you got all your machines serviced and all that kind of stuff, and make sure that you know exactly where you're going to take your machine to get serviced if something happens. Service outages is a big thing. And if you're running an embroidery business, it's a serious thing, because when that machine goes down, that means the money ain't going to flow in. Okay. And you don't want your customers to know when you have service outages. So I am pretty in a fortunate kind of position because I have 4 machines. I have a single needle and I have three multi needles. Okay. So if one of my multi needles go down, I got 2. Now it does still hurt because you got to remember, the more machines I have running at one time, the more orders I can process. Okay. So if a machine goes down, that means that I have only 2 machines to process orders. You know what I'm saying? So it can get, it can slow you down. So one of the things to think about is that, okay, the service outages. Think about, it does, hopefully it never happens, but make sure that you ask yourself that question. What am I going to do if it does happen? If it does happen, how am I going to handle that? How am I going to resolve that quickly? So that way the customers don't suffer, my orders don't suffer, and I can just get it fixed and then keep going. All right. So something to think about. A lot of people don't think about having a service outage and stuff like that, but those things happen. Okay. All right. The other thing, not having solutions for customer problems. A lot of times you will have, I know I have, customers that they come to me and they say, they have kind of like a vision of what they want. Okay. Sometimes they have a logo, but they don't know what to do with it. And they kind of sometimes will go to you and they ask you to solve the problem for them. Right. And once again, I always make my appointment with them and I have that conversation with them. And I tell them, I go, okay, well, what's your business about? And why, you want to get your logo embroidered. Well, what is it that you want to do with the stuff that you get embroidered? Are you using it as promotional items? Are you using it for your staff to wear at certain events? Is it stuff that you just want to have available for customers to buy? Ask those questions, and then find out what it is that they're having a hard time deciding on. You want to be able to not just provide embroidery service, but you want to build a good business relationship with your customers. I do have customers that have come to me, first time business owners just starting their business, and they have their logo, and they want to know how can they, they have an idea. Like I had one that was a coffee shop, and they said, we started our coffee shop. I just want to get aprons embroidered, but I really don't know what else I can do, to help. So I was like, okay, well, you're a coffee shop, right? Okay, well, all right, aprons are a great idea. Why don't you like wear polo shirts as well? That can also be a good thing for your staff. And then try the kitchen towels. What's wrong with putting your logo on a kitchen towel? Just get like 10 of them, put them on your shelf, see if they sell. And then when they did sell, guess what they did? They came to me and said, you know what? I don't need 10. Can you make 100? There you go. Okay. So, and sometimes it's like, why don't you put the logo on a tote bag? There you go. That's another solution. People like to advertise their businesses. All right. It's just like with me. Like sometimes when I am on the weekends, I got a whole bunch of polo shirts myself. I actually put my little logo on my polo shirt. Sometimes I walk around and I'll just wear it. And somebody, people will ask me, oh, embroidery services? Do you have a card? Absolutely. And I give them the card. And the thing is, you want to make sure that you build a good business relationship with your customers. Okay. You want not only to be their embroiderer, but sometimes they will ask you advice, and they'll ask you, they'll say, I want to embroider like the vest. It's a perfect example. Let's go back to the vest. The gentleman came to me and he had a very small logo, small fonts. He liked those vests very much. I don't know why, but it was like he fell in love with that material. He wanted that. And he was like, no, 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 that's what I want. Well, what did I do? I provided him a solution. Okay. Even though I knew what he wanted, really, I knew the intent and I knew what he wanted. And I kind of knew it wasn't really going to be something that was going to be easily read and something that he may, that he was going to really like. But I was able to provide a solution. So you want to make sure, that you can provide solutions to your customers if they ask for advice. Okay. You want to be able to do that. Let's see. Okay. This is the big one. Okay, Fred, video. Okay, this is a big one. All right. Customers want a discount that you can't give. Well, those of you guys that have watched me for quite some time, you guys know how I feel about that. Okay. First of all, everybody's different. Run your business how you want. Up to you. Okay. This is really how you feel, how you want to do it. Now, do I sometimes offer a discount? Depends. Man, I got a lot of noise going on in my house today. Okay. It depends. Okay. Sometimes I will throw in a discount if I get a huge bulk order. It's not much of a discount. Okay. But I do I take some off, but not a lot. The reason is I am a small business. Okay. I'm not working for free. One of the things that I noticed though is that you will bump into some customers and they don't want to pay. They want the work, but they don't want to pay for it. To me, and for those of you guys that have watched me for some time, know how I feel about that. And I'm just like, it ain't a customer I want to deal with. That's really the bottom line. Okay. I always price my items at what I consider a very fair price. A fair price to them and a fair price to me. Negotiation is not something that I do. Okay. That's why I always tell people never give your prices to their customers at the very beginning. When a customer comes to me with a particular project, which is custom most of the time, right away, a lot of times people want to know the price. And one of the things that I do is I always tell them I don't give prices right away. I have to find out exactly what the project is going to entail. So, in other words, I need to know, I have to talk to the digitizer. I have to see how many stitches are involved in that type of design, because I don't charge by stitch count, but what I do is I charge by time. So the more stitches, the more time under my needle. And also depending on the design, sometimes you have to slow down that machine. Just because your machine runs 1,000 or 1,500 stitches per minute doesn't mean you run the machine at 1,000 or 1,500 stitches per minute. Okay. There are going to be times that you're going to have a design where in certain sections of that design, you do have to slow down your machine. Okay, because the details. All right. And also, there's going to be designs and projects that you work on where you're going to have to work with different needle sizes and different thread weights. So, all of that has to be accounted for. So, because I have to think of all that, the different types of stabilizers, how long it's going to be under my machine, under that needle, the time, also, the materials and everything like that. I will never give a customer a price right away. Never. Okay. I always like for them to wait 1 or 2 days, because I have to research it and I have to make sure that I know that the price that I'm giving them is not just fair to them, but fair to me as well, because I'm the one that's working. Okay. And no one wants to work for free. No one wants to work for free. Okay. I see it all the time where I see a lot of people will underprice their work. And what ends up happening is they feel good because they made that sale. And they're happy because the customer's happy. But to me, I'm like, be very careful with that. Okay. You have to be very careful with that, because what ends up happening is you can have people that can be taking advantage of you. Okay. And that can be something that you really want to steer away from. So you gotta make sure that you're really savvy about that. The other thing also is the negotiation. I don't like negotiating for several reasons. Okay. And I think I shared with, but for those that are new, that don't really watch me all the time, I'll say it up. I'm going to repeat it right now. There can be some issues when you negotiate sometimes with customers. Okay. What ends up happening, especially a first time customer, because what ends up happening is that first time customer, they wanted you had a price. And this is how I look at it. If I give you a price, I'm giving you that price because I know that it's a fair price. Okay. I'm not there to make you go broke. I don't want all your money in your wallet. It's not about that. It's all about making sure that you get good quality work at a very good price. But at the same time, I want to get paid. That's really what it's all about for me. Okay. That's what it's about for me. All right. I don't need I don't need, like I said, I don't need all your money and all that kind of stuff. It's not about that. Okay. But if you come at me and then you come on and say, well, because I'll give you an example. The lady that wanted 100 sweatshirts. Okay. She had a logo and she wanted 100 sweatshirts, and she won, the logo was about, it's pretty big, whatever. But I told her, I said, okay, it would be about $1,500 for the 15 shirts. For the 100 shirts. Okay. So she was like, oh, that's too high. I know someone that can do it for about $700. And I was like, wow, that's great. I don't know why you're talking to me. You got to go to her. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm like, it ain't going to happen. I am not going to embroider 100 shirts for $700. It's just not going to happen. Okay. So, it's making a lot of noise. Okay. He might as well. All right. So, it's just, you got to really think about, the pricing, and you have to think about what you want to do when you're selling your items. This is the thing that I worry. And I've seen it with other people. They sell it, they negotiate it with the customer, they lower their price, the customer goes, got a great item, goes home happy, but then you feel like crap because you know that it took you a long time to get that done. You spent a lot of money, on your machine, your stabilizer, electricity, whatever. And now you feel like you got taken advantage of. That's not a good feeling. Okay? That's not a good feeling. And if you're going to be feeling like that, then you have to sit back and ask yourself, why am I doing this? Am I, I thought you were doing this to make you feel good. I thought you were doing this because you wanted to really run a business. And I'm gonna be honest, when you run a business, it's to make money. Okay. It's to make money. It's not to like go broke, because then you're not going to be successful in your business. Okay. It's to make money. Okay. Not grow broke. And you want to feel good about yourself. You want to feel good about what you do and stuff like that. So that's important. So make sure that when you are talking with your customers about pricing and all that kind of stuff and everything, if they want a discount, you know, I say no. I say no. Okay. I when I do the bulk orders, first of all, I never even tell them they got a discount. Okay. Sometimes if I get a bulk order, I will sit back, I look at the bulk order, I already know how long it's gonna take and all that kind of stuff and everything. And then I will hold on 1 minute because the music's too loud. Hold on 1 minute. Can you lower that? It's loud. It's all right, babe. I got you. That I can hear it. Thank you. My husband, he likes his jazz, so he had it a little bit too loud, but he lowered it, so he's good. Yeah. So pricing can really be a challenge. All right, and you don't want to be taken advantage of and stuff like that. So I usually say no when I'm working on the bulk orders. Like I said, I always like to get all the information up front. And then I look at how long it's going to take, how many machines can I run, and all that kind of stuff. Come up with a good price. And if I see that it is a bulk order, especially if it's a repeat customer, sometimes I'll lower the price, but I don't lower it by a lot. Okay. It ain't like you're going to get a 50% off deal. Okay. If anything, maybe I'll give you 5% or something like that. Because the thing is, when I price items, they're already fair. Okay. But sometimes I will lower it, but not by much. Okay. But be careful when you do that too, because when you lower prices, then what ends up happening is that lower price, people will start to believe that that little discount that you gave them becomes the new price. And I let them know up front, this is not regular price. Okay. I'm just doing this because of this. I let them know. Okay. And the best thing is the honesty. Be upfront with your customers. Okay. Always be upfront with your customers. I mean, the last thing you want is to have a customer and then all of a sudden it's like the expectations are not met, you weren't honest, or you didn't really have the skill sets when you took that order and you knew you didn't have that skill set. You know what you can handle. You know what you can handle and you know what you can't. And if you see an order that is a little challenging and you're not sure, then let that customer know that. Like the order that I had with the dog, my customer knew that was going to be the challenge of a lifetime for me. She knew that up front. So she knew that it was going to take a couple of months for me to figure it out. Okay. She was okay with that. I am honest with my customers. I will let them know when I can do something, when I see something and I'm like, okay, I have an idea how to do it, but I'm not sure. Will you be able to work with me on this? Because the thing is also, you got to remember when you're taking these orders, these customers have an expectation of when they're going to get that orders back. Okay. So don't come out and tell people, oh, I'm going to have it done in an hour, and then you can't have it done in an hour. Make sure you let those customers know that. Okay. We got the holidays that are coming up, guys. And there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be putting in orders, and you need to make sure that you are going to be prepared to handle customer challenges. So the best thing to do is to make sure that you are solid, that you thought about some of these things that I've talked to you within this last hour. Make sure that you digest it and ask yourself those questions. Be honest. That's the one thing that I noticed that sometimes people have a real hard time with, especially when they run a business and we talking money and they running their numbers and stuff like that. And they go, oh, I'm doing great. No, you're not doing great. You're not being honest. You got to make sure that you are looking at true numbers. Okay. And it's the same thing. Okay. When you're dealing with customers, make sure that when I take what the things that I'm telling you, and you don't have to do it the way I do it. Everybody's different. Okay. But the thing is, think about it and ask yourself, okay, how am I going to make sure that I'm gathering my customers' expectations? How am I going to handle a mistake in an order? Okay. What am I going to do? What's the plan? Okay. How am I going to handle if a customer comes to me and challenges me on the price? How am I going to handle that situation? Am I just going to allow them to dictate to me what I should be charging? I mean, how am I going to handle that? Well, I do. You know what I'm saying? Ask those questions of yourself. Prepare yourself, because we're in October, guys. November's right around the corner. And then before you know it, December's here. This year went by fast. So the thing is, you want to make sure that as you are taking these orders, you're making sure that you can go ahead and you can process them. And because you've already thought about these customer challenges that could happen, when they happen, you already have the script written in your head. You already know. You go, oh, I made a mistake, but I know how I'm going to handle this mistake. I already know it. Okay. Because me and the customer had the conversation, but I just got to make that unfortunate phone call and say, you know what? I messed up the shirt. Don't worry. I'm going to replace it. I know where you got it from. And this is how long it's going to take me to replace it so that I can get the order to you. That's it. Know how you're going to deal things. Okay. So guys, it is 9:04, so that is the topic of the hour. And now I already told you guys about the Esther gift exchange, right? I gave you guys all about my customer service challenges, how I handle them, what I think about them, and all that kind of stuff and everything, because the holidays are coming, and I'm telling you, it's like you're going to have to get ready. I'm already prepping, okay? I know you guys haven't seen that I have been doing more instructional videos, okay? But I have been taking it slow with the business right now. I'm more working online orders. I do have 2 custom orders. Well, really 3. I have one tomorrow. Maybe I'll videotape that one because it's embroidering the back of a jean jacket. And my girlfriend Jeanette is going to come with her jean jacket. So I have to see what she wants on it, what kind of designs and all that kind of stuff. So I'll probably videotape that process so you guys can see how I did that. Because I don't think I have a video out there on me doing a jean jacket. I may, but I'm not sure. But it'll be something new. So I'll do that. And for those of you guys that watched me last week when I was doing the quilt, okay, let me give you guys a 401 on that quilt. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to give it to my girlfriend. I cannot find that needle. Cannot. Bob even sent me a video of how to open it up on the side with the screw, shake that machine down, shook it down. No needle. Can't find it in the blanket. Couldn't find it on the floor. That thing has disappeared. And because I am so uncertain of where that piece of the needle went, I am not going to give that to my friend, but it's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy more fabric. The baby's not born till February, so I have plenty of time. And I'll probably not going to throw out what I did. I'll probably use that and just hang it on the wall. Make, a nice little decorative thing for my wall. So, nothing lost. I mean, like I said, take a negative, turn it into a positive. It's going to be fine. I'm going to make it work for me. So, but I am going to work on another blanket for her. I mean, there's just so many different blankets that I could work on anyway. And I want to do a whole, basket for her. So I'm going to go down now that the hour's over. I gave you guys the 411. I'm going to go down the chat and see what you guys got going on. I know that you guys, have been talking with each other and all that kind of stuff. So, let's see. Let us see how this is going on here. Okay. All right. Miss Rivera, how are you? I did reply to your email, and I'm sure you saw. I did put that in there. Miss Rivera has been on a hunt for a hat hoop. She's looking for this hat hoop that I have, and I know this is the sad part too. I bought this hat hoop for my SC1900. I know this is the one that she's looking for. And I bought it off of Etsy a very long time ago. And I love this hat hoop. It works very, very well. But for some reason, the Etsy shop has shut down. They're not selling it anymore. And then also, it's they had a hat hoop website. I guess they moved from Etsy and bought a hat. They created their own website. And I don't know what's going on. She says she's having problems with that. So I did put an alternative to her. There are some options out there on Amazon. I even did a video showing this version versus the version that I bought on Amazon. The one on Amazon did work. Okay, it works just as well. The only thing is just a little bit bulkier. That's all it is. The one that I purchased on Amazon was just a little bit bulkier. I did return it because there was no reason for me to have the one from Amazon because I got this one. But she's not the only one that's had some issues in trying to get something like this. Because this one really is great for the SC1900 because it fits right into the 5x7 hoop. And it makes it really easy for you to embroider a hat hoop. So I hope, Miss Rivera, that you can get something that works for you and stuff like that. So, hopefully the link to the Amazon one that I sent you works out great. Okay, hey Marlene, how you doing? I see Debbie, I see Marsha. Hey Jackie, how are you? See the regular crew out there. Okay. Hey Miss Masters, how you doing? Hey Cindy. Debbie, Eartha, hey Bob, how are you? Elita, how are you? Or Evelita. I'm gonna flash you because I know I screwed up your name. Okay, so how you doing? Welcome. Hey Crafty Puerto Rican. Hey Peggy, how are you? I see Vanessa. How are you? How you doing? Hey, Bubba J. I'm in Facebook jail again. Oh no. Okay. Hey Eleanor, how you doing? I see Deborah, Marsha, Crafty. Hey Angela and Stitches. Hey, there's my sister. How's she doing? She has been doing mom duties. Took her all day. My mom's driving crazy. You know how that old lady is. Okay. Hey Maggie 81. How you doing? Let's see. Oh, yes, Debbie. Thank you so much. Guys, if you like the content that I shared with you guys today, please, 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 yes, hit that like button, please, because that really does help the channel a lot. I do notice too, something that YouTube is doing right now is that they're kind of like running ads as people are doing lives. I know it's a little bit annoying and stuff. Just when it finishes the ad, just hit, skip and whatever, and it'll go to the thing. It is annoying, and I know as a viewer it could be annoying, but please look at it also from the perspective of the person that's providing you the content. That is how we get paid, but not much, what I'm saying? So it's usually, but the thing is, it does help us out, okay? Because so that's how we kind of make the money off of the Google ads and stuff like that. So yeah, you know. So okay, so just want to let you guys know, because I know that it can be annoying and stuff like that, but I'm trying to see if I can delay that and stuff. I'll figure it out and stuff. But just hang in there with me, guys. Hey Ozzy, how you doing? Marlene says, I'm not as busy with customers yet, but the appointment book is a great tool to have. It is. It has helped me out a lot. It really has, because it helps me schedule my time. And it's really is important to do that, because what ends up happening is you can really get bombarded. That happened to me the first year. It was not fun. Even though I love what I do, I love embroidery and I love filling in the orders and all that kind of stuff and everything. But the thing is, when it gets to be so overwhelming, it can really drive you crazy. So, and it can exhaust you, right? And the thing is also is time is really important. And even though I love this room, I like being in this room, and I like doing this stuff, I also like to go out once in a while. I do like to go for long walks with Mello, and enjoy the fresh air, especially this time of year before the actual hard winter comes in. I like to take a walk with Mello, and I think one day what I'll do is I'll take the camera with me while me and Mello take walks, and then maybe talk to you guys while I'm taking a walk with Mello, because I like to just relax and really enjoy it. My sister took a walk with me and Mello when she came to visit me that weekend, which I really did enjoy. I really like that. I like to walk around my neighborhood and stuff. And really enjoy it. Sometimes I walk the trails. Sometimes I'll walk by the highway and stuff like that, but I really like to just walk and relax and just breathe in the fresh air and just enjoy the surroundings. And it's important, right? So because I have that appointment book, I kind of like to schedule that. And believe it or not, I even schedule my walks in there too. So yeah, but it is a really, really good idea to do. Hey Ozzy, how are you? Hey Deborah, how are you? And Angela is saying over promise, underproduce, not good. Absolutely. And that is very, very, very good. Thing. That is one thing too. Let me leave her comment up there, because I do want to comment on this a little bit more. Let's emphasize a little bit about this, okay? Sometimes what happens, and even in my job, my day job and stuff, sometimes what happens is we want to make people so happy, right? Especially when we have customers, that when they come on, they say, well, when do you think you'll have it ready? We want to tell, we really want to do such a good job that we'll actually come out and we'll just say, oh, we'll have it ready within an hour or something like that, right? Well, sometimes that's not really a good idea to do. Okay. You don't want to overpromise, right? Like Angela is saying right there. What you want to do is you want to come out and say, what I usually do is I'll tell people, well, it usually takes 2 or 3 days, right? Unless it's something like super small. And even when it's super small, I'll tell them it takes a day. And sometimes it can be something really small, like they'll just bring me a bag, and all they want is 3 initials on there. Well, that's not going to take a day. Put it under the machine. It'll probably take about good 15-20 minutes or something, depending on how big it is and stuff like that. So usually but I'll usually always say a day. And the reason why I do that is because sometimes right then and there, I can't put the item underneath the needle, right? So something can come up or something like that. But if I do get a chance to do it, and I can do it fairly quickly, so I will go ahead and text them maybe 2 or 3 hours later and say, hey, I was able to finish this for you really quickly. It's ready for pickup. So always make sure, though, that you do, schedule your stuff correctly. Okay. Make sure you have that leeway added in there. But thank you, Angela, for posting that. That's really, really important stuff. Hey, Beth, how you doing? Oh, Beth said, I'm so excited for the gift exchange. Been making some small toasts for my family members. Oh, that's pretty cool. Those are easy to make and they are fun to do. Learned all about the walking foot and some of the items at the machine on the machine that I haven't yet learned. Oh, girl, enjoy that machine. Enjoy it and stuff. It is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. Hey, Kim, how are you, hon? How you doing? Hey, Bob. Bob says too many people are trying to sell products they've never tried to make for themselves. And it's true. And that's why that's one of the things that I always say, make sure you practice. Just because you learn how to turn that on button doesn't mean that you know how to embroider really, really well. Okay. And for those of you guys that don't know, okay, Bob is really good at the patches and he does a lot of embroidery and he sometimes posts videos on my Facebook group. And one of the things, even if you notice, okay, if you watch some of his videos, you're going to notice you see him practicing all the time, trying out new materials, doing things. That's what I'm talking about, okay? I'm talking about you got to really invest your time, your energy to really learn the craft, okay? It's a skill. It truly, truly is. A lot of times people think that it's something really simple and easy. It can be. But the thing is, it does take time to learn. You have to learn about different types of material, the different quality of materials. Bob does talk about that a lot. There are certain things that he uses for his patches. Some of the items are, some of the materials a little bit on the expensive side, but there's a reason for it because it's good quality material. So that's the other thing too. So you have to really, really, really be able to take the time to study. You really do. You can't just turn on a machine, press button, and then say, I'm open for business. Well, I know a lot of people don't like hearing that, okay? But it's true. You really, really have to take the time to learn how to do this stuff. I mean, it's just that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? If you don't do that, you're going to have crappy products. And if you have crappy products, well, guess what? That's going to be your reputation because when the customers see what you do and they see that you don't really do that well, then what's going to happen is that's the reputation you're going to have. And that's not what you want. That really isn't, that's not going to help you become successful. Okay. So, I love honesty, Jeanette. You're a great advisor. Thank you. Hey, Karen, how are you? Hi, Susan, how you doing? Hey, Letty Gwen, how are you? And Bob, sample stitches are also important on Etsy. So you have evidence that you showed them and they approved it. Yes. And I have done that too. Etsy seller support will see that if there's a problem. Absolutely true. Yes. I mean, and you know what's so funny is a lot of times people don't want to do the sample stitches because they think it's a waste of time. They really do. And to me, I'm like, okay, well, I enjoy what I do, so I don't mind doing the sample stitches. And sample stitches are very useful. They really are because it's something that a customer can hold in their hand, touch, see it, and they see how it's going to look, the colors, the thread, how it's going to feel and all that kind of stuff and everything. So it's a really good way to show the customer what is exactly they're going to get. Okay? So I am a big advocate for for doing the sample stitches. I think it really is a great way to do it. Let's see. Let's see. Hey Nita, how are you? How you doing? Hey Rita, how was sewing, didn't realize the time. Oh. Let's see. Hey Joanna, how are you? Hey Miss Banks, how you doing? Elizabeth has, let me see. Okay, hi Jeanette. I just got my biggest or to date. I just got my biggest or to date. I took all your advice and she was okay with it. I also ran into an issue though. The fabric jammed. Oh, and ended up in a hole. Had to replace it. What would you do? I would do exactly what you did, Elizabeth. I I would replace it. And these things just, I know it sucks. It sucks. It really, it sucks. Been there, hun. Don't worry about it. Just, it's an experience. It's an experience, I mean, and this is the thing. When it got jammed, I know what you're talking about, because that's happened to me, where the fabric is so stuck in there that even when you pull it, you're stretching the fabric, and it's just so jammed that you have no choice but to, like, sometimes take a scissor and just cut it, and then you got a hole. I know it. You just have to replace it, and just, it's a lesson learned. It's a mistake. It's a mistake, Elizabeth. I mean, we been there, I have one that I'm willing to sell because once it didn't work for me. Okay. Hey, Miss Max, how are you? Hey, Jenny, how you doing? Hey, BB. Graham. Yes. Oh, it's getting down. Oh, the ads. Okay, I'm going to try to see if I can eliminate that, at least for the lives, while we're doing the live. Okay. But yeah. Okay. Let's see. Trying to see if I can. A crafty diary also is great. There you go. And I like that idea. Yes, BB Berman. A crafty diary is also as great, so that if you have issues, great to jot down. You fix it, the threads, fonts, and use for repeat customers. Very good idea. Now, you talk about crafty diary. This is my diary. Okay, this is something that I was always using. Okay, this is a little thing. Miss Banks made this for me, and this is my diary for my machines. Okay, one of the things that I do, guys, is I have this little book, and it's just a notebook, and I have it right by my machine. And what I do is every time I have some type of an issue with my machines, I always like to write it down in this book. And one of the things that I do is when Justin comes to fix my machines, I hand him this book. And in this book, it lists all the types of issues that I've had. Like if I had any threading issues, or if I had a wiper error, or if I, any little thing, anything funky that I saw, I'll write it down in this book. Because this is the thing. Sometimes what happens is you'll have an issue with your machine and you'll forget what happened, right? And I only get my machine service on an annual basis. So when he comes, I'm not going to remember 6 months ago, I had a problem with this needle on this machine. I'm actually going to forget. So I will have it all written down in here. And when he comes and he starts to strip naked all my machines and says, okay, Jeanette, well, all right, on the 6th needle, did you have any issues? Is there something I should be concerned about? I will flip this thing open and I'll be like, okay, on the 6th needle machine, I experienced this, and this. So he will be able to look at that machine to make sure that everything is intact, the sensors and all that kind of stuff. What did you have on the first 10 needle machine? I had this. Okay, he fixes that. The second 10 needle machine, same thing. Okay, so this works really, really great. It's something that really works well for me. And so if you have a machine and, get these little notebooks, these are little composition notebooks that you can get at the dollar store. Just take one of them, put down, machine history in there or something like that. Keep it by your machine. And whenever there's a hiccup or something mechanical that you think kind of like, it's just like, messed up or whatever, but it's still working. It's just that something funky happened. So just take it and jot it down on the machine so that when you take the machine to go get service, you know exactly what happened. I always put down the date, the time, because even though sometimes it doesn't matter, but he may ask me a question. Well, when did that start happening? Well, I'll go through my book. I can tell you exactly when it started happening and how often it happened and all that kind of stuff. So this is another great way to help with the maintenance of your machine and stuff. So I have it like right here in my little I have this little cart thing right here, and I have it right here. And every time I get like a little hiccup or anything like that, I just pick up my little notebook and I write out everything. And, and when Justin comes to fix my machines and do my maintenance and everything, I got my little history. Yeah. But I really like the idea of also having a separate notebook, like she was saying, to jot down your mistakes and everything. So that is really a good idea as well. Hey Joyce, how you doing? Hey Nancy Ashley, how you doing? Oh, thanks. Welcome to the channel. Let me see. Absolutely learn before you sell, and don't sell out if subpar, as your reputation is on the line with each sale. It is. And it's funny because a lot of people don't get it. They really don't get it. And then they get upset and they'll say, well, I got a bad review, or the I'm not selling as much and stuff. Well, maybe it's because you're building your skill set and stuff like that. That takes time. It takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. And I noticed too, a lot of times what happens is people, they want success overnight. They just want it like, oh, I bought the machine yesterday and I'm not making $1,000,000. Why am I not making $1,000,000? I just got the machine yesterday. Well, come on. It takes time. It takes effort. Nothing's going to happen overnight. I am telling you right now. And it's going to take work. A lot of times people think you buy the machine and the money's just going to drop out of the sky. It's going to fly into your windows and stuff like that. It doesn't happen like that. There's going to, the machine is just the first part of your investment. You're going to be buying a lot of threads. You're going to be buying a lot of stabilizers. You're going to be buying a lot of blanks. You're going to be testing a lot of different designs. You're going to have to really hustle. I mean, it is a hustle. You're going to have to market yourself. You're going to a lot of advertising and everything. There's just so much that goes into it. A lot of times people, they have this impression that it's easy. It really, really isn't. There's a lot of work that's involved. And if you are not dedicated, you're just not going to do well. You know what I'm saying? So it's just something I just need to put out there. Let me see. Oh, Angela bought a brother cover stitch. Can't wait to use it. Congratulations on your new machine. Congratulations. Hey, pretty eyes. How are you? And let me see. Okay. All right. I think I'm at the bottom of all the chats. Okay, cool. All right. I got everybody. That's cool. Awesome. 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 And what time is it? Oh, this is a quick one. Okay. So yeah. So let me see. What else I got going on? I think that's it, guys. I just really wanted to talk to you guys a lot because about the customer service. So the next couple of happy hours that I'm going to be doing is really going to be, I want to focus on holidays coming up, things that we can do to start thinking about how to prepare yourself for the upcoming holidays, so that way it's not as stressful. There's just, I mean, I can't believe this year has really gone by super fast. It really, really, truly has. But yeah, but I just want to make sure everybody, has an opportunity to think about certain things, because the holidays is really when you're going to get hit with a lot, especially those of you guys that probably don't have an embroidery business. I got it, but I'm gonna tell you right now, you got an embroidery machine, your friends and your family are gonna be looking for you, because they're gonna be like, oh, can you do this? Can you do that? And can you embroider this? Can you put a name on here? Can you put my initials on a hat, a jacket, sweatpants, sneakers, shoes, bags? Trust me, people are gonna find you. They're gonna find you. And what's really funny is sometimes I laugh because people say, I bought an embroidery machine because I just wanted to do some embroidery myself for me. And then I started a business because people found out I had the machine, and people saw some of the stuff that I wore. And before you know it, you kind of accidentally start a business. You kind of sometimes do. So yeah. So anyway, let's see. Question, can you go over number 7? Okay, well, number 7. I don't know what you mean by that. Um, let's see. Okay. Number 7. Well, let me see. Let me go real quick on some of the items that I mentioned. I don't know. Did I do 10? I'm not sure. I may have miscounted them. Okay. Let's go over all of them before we say goodnight. All right. Servicing multiple customers at one time. We all know that's not a good idea because you can mess up. Okay. Not knowing the answer to a question. Make sure that your skill set is up to par. Okay. And you don't have to really know the answers right away. Sometimes you got to do a little research, but not a problem with that. Facing frustrating customers. If it's your business, I mean, why are you? Okay. All right. So, not meeting customer expectations. If you're not meeting customer expectations, that means you probably didn't, you had some type of misunderstanding that happened over there. So you got to make sure that you are really spending good quality time with your customers as you're taking these orders. All right. Then number 5, not being able to resolve the issues quickly. Make sure you have a game plan on how you're going to handle things. Okay. Not having the right tools was number 6. And number 7 to me was having too many of them. Okay. Don't, make sure your space is clean. Okay. We're all buying a whole bunch of notions because we want to try different notions for different things. But know what you really need and what you actually really use. Make sure they're close by you. Okay. Number 8 was managing service outages that I had on my list. Okay. You got to make sure you got a backup plan. When your machines go belly up, you got to know how you're going to fix, how you're going to fix that situation. Um, the other one is having solutions for customer problems. Okay. Sometimes the customer may come to you and ask for advice. You need to make sure that you can provide different solutions for whatever it is that they need. Okay. Then I had number 10, which was customers want a discount you can't give. You guys already know how I feel about that. I believe in fair pricing. I did have a number 11 on here, and which is customers request features that your products don't have. What I meant by that was sometimes you can come across a customer that will come to you and ask you to embroider something, and you never did it before, or you don't have the material, or it's just something that you're not comfortable doing. I'll give you an example. Let's say somebody wants 3D embroidery, right? You don't have the foam that goes with it, or they you really haven't done a lot of 3D embroidery, or they want it on a hat or something like that, right? Something that you're really not familiar with and stuff like that. Be careful when you take those type of orders because, like I said, you want to be very confident. So have that conversation with the customer. I mean, I wouldn't really say shy away from those orders either. If you have an honest conversation with your customer and let them know and say, that's not something that I usually do, or something that I haven't tried yet. I don't mind trying it. Let me see what I can do and see if you can figure it out and stuff like that. But be kind of careful because you don't want to do something and then the product's not exactly great, right? It doesn't really come out really good and stuff like that. So you want to make sure that when you have someone that asks for something that's not in the norm of what you normally do, and something that you feel very confident in doing, you want to make sure that you have that conversation with the customer and have a good, so they have a good idea that this is really something that's out of your norm. It's really about expectations if you really think about it. You know what I'm saying? You want to make sure that the customer has a clear expectation of what they're going to get at the end. Okay. And if you know that something might be a little iffy, make sure you let them know that it might be a little iffy. I mean, some customers are fine with that. You know what I'm saying? And some people may not be, depending on how important it is. Okay. Like, for instance, I'll give you an example where they may not be. Let's say you're embroidering for a wedding, okay, and they're asking you to do some dinner napkins, and maybe you're not, you never, like, I don't know. Let's say somebody comes and says, "I got these silk dinner napkins," which I would not touch, and say, "I want you to do this dense design on this silk dinner napkin." I would be like, "Nope." But if you want to try it or whatever, you can. But I would make sure that customer knows that maybe that material isn't going to work with the design that they want. And not only that, silk dinner napkins are probably very expensive for you to replace. And that's another reason too, is that, sometimes items that you take can be very pricey, and you have to think about it. If I make a mistake on this sucker, I'm going to have to replace it. Am I going to be out of pocket? I don't know if you guys saw that video where I lost 2 grand, and it was all because of the book bags. But I ended up writing it off. And donating, and taking a positive into a negative and stuff like that. So, there's a lot of things. So, just be careful when you're taking orders. Make sure that they're orders that you feel good about, things that you can fill, and that you're gonna be okay. So, guys, that is what I have for you guys tonight. So I am going to call it the night. This is a pretty short, usually I could talk for hours, okay? But gave you guys the information, the 411. Hope you guys enjoy it, and hope that it is information that you guys can use and think about to help your embroidery business and stuff like that. And guys, I was always great talking to you guys. If you like the information that I gave you, please give me a thumbs up. It helps my channel a whole lot. If you are watching my channel and you have not subscribed, doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. My whole goal this year was to try to reach 20,000 subscribers. I think I'm at 18,000 something. Think I might get there. I don't know. The year's not over yet. I really would love to meet that goal. So if you are not subscribed, please click that button and subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. It's completely free. And please give me that thumbs up, because the thumbs up in the video does help the channel a lot with YouTube's algorithms. I think I said that word right. I'm not sure, but it really does help. So just hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoy the content. So guys, have fun embroidering, have fun sewing, and get ready for those holidays. Before you know it, it's going to be here, and we're all going to be super, super, super busy. So I will talk to you guys later. Have a great weekend, everyone. And like I said, enjoy those machines. So I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.